What's up, guys? This is Frenzy. Welcome back to Viewer Castles. Today we're going to start off with bigox. Castle level 13, so I'll jump into it on my knight. He obviously doesn't have all that much available to him because he's only level 13. I'm not even sure if he has Cyclops with stun. We'll see once we get in here a little bit. Level 1, yeah, and he doesn't have Cyclops with any sort of stun effects. So let's see here. I think if you could move this pull back a little bit farther, it would be better for you. Like, what I think you would want to do here is, I mean, you do have the Scorpio with pull, so that's kind of effective, but at the same time, when I'm fighting these, I'm not going to want to continue around this corner, or at least smart people won't want to continue around this corner and get hit by this spike trap. They're going to wait here and wait until see what comes. So what I would do is probably put your aggro circle right on the edge of this, and then the Scorpio kind of works against this fact if that's what you were trying to do. Is like maybe I would like charge Cyclops with archers back here or something like that, even better, because then you have the charge and it's going to push you back on here and the archer shots are going to pelt you. I mean the Scorpio is okay, I guess, but I don't think it works as well there. Like, I would think if you wanted a Scorpio, you'd have the spike trap back a little bit farther, so that you're kind of hooking from down the hallway, and it's a little bit more difficult to get out of the way of the hook, you know? And then you're pulling him onto the spike trap, whereas here, even if I were coming onto the spike trap, your Scorpio would be pulling me off. So I mean, like, if your Scorpio was here, I would say your spike trap could be right on the edge of this, so it's still not quite skippable, and then you have the possibility of a pull. But how it is set up now, I'd like the charge with the archers a little bit better. Or using these. This could work the same as a charge archer. You could have a hunger bot that pushes you back onto the spike trap. So I'm guessing that's somewhat like my pull, and it goes from down into here. Yeah, you can see it down here. If I was an archer, I would volley that. One way you can get away from archers volleying that, if you run into that problem, is you can put a mob that pulls this group, like right here, and you can go through the wall there, and you can fit that all in there. And by doing that, that also removes this pull here, that like your Pete Poundmore is kind of susceptible to getting attacked. Although that's kind of crazy. Like, if this works out for you, I'm sure this kills so many people. I mean, that's a ton of heals. But as it is now, the group itself that pulls from here is all support. You're not really having any damage, so you're almost 100% counting on this Pete Poundmore getting pulled. And I'm not sure how often he actually does. Maybe a lot at your level, but as you start to progress upwards, people are going to recognize that when I attack this Snotter, this guy isn't coming. So I'm going to wait and see what comes through this wall. So again, I would kind of say you have maybe a little bit too much support here. I mean, 2 Cyclops is pretty good DPS when they're on the smash like that, and I guess you have to try to fight your way to these Bone Puppeteers while trying to dodge the Cyclops. So I mean, it's an okay room. So I didn't see exactly where everything was here, but this is kind of the same issue that you had before, where you have this Snotter way up here, something like that, for spotting, and it's not really complementing your trap the way you kind of want it. I would say you want your Snotter, you know, somewhere in this area here, even like back even more. I'm not sure exactly how you would set that up so that you could get, you know, this area covered. But what you would want is you'd want me to already be on the trap, right, and starting to cross it, and then I aggro a group that pushes me back over it, so I have to spend more time on the trap and take more damage like that. Because currently I'm basically fighting the mob group separately from the trap, and it's not really complementing itself. Alright. This one is, I think, the same, because you noticed how I kind of was able to pull the mob group across the hamster wheel and fight it on this side. instead of it being maybe back here. So I'm crossing the hamster wheel, fighting on top of here, and then maybe this guy knocks me back, and I have a second chance to hit the what do you call it? Hamster wheel. And I think this is a great time waster. It's definitely gonna, cause a lot of people your level to waste a lot of time trying to fight through this Robo Shieldotron who's getting healed, or try to kill the healer. So I think that's good. Alright, so yeah, pretty good castle. We'll jump into number 2 in just a second. Alright, for number 2 we have Pxxnda, castle level 15, so I'll do my knight again. Alright, let's see. Alright, so the healer's good here. I think that's fine. When I was using Pete Poundmore, I kind of liked Enrage just because it killed people more often. This has a little bit more sustainability, so it's kind of a trade-off. What I would say though is you kind of have it set up a little bit weird where you could have pull through the wall down to here, which actually takes more time. I guess maybe you do have one right here. Okay, so I see how you have it set up now. This guy is almost really easy to skip. Like, as I was coming through this castle, I didn't even see him down here, and I think you kind of want him to be aggroed. Like, maybe you're... I guess I can kind of see where you're going with this. The problem that I see with your setup here is what you're basically thinking, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you're aggroing this group, right? And so I'm standing here. The Pete Poundmore comes around, charges you downwards into this Snotter, which aggroes this group. And the problem that I have with that is the Pete Poundmore that just gets aggroed here is going to take so long to walk around that the first Pete Poundmore is probably going to be dead by the time that the other one gets here. And, them together, they're kind of on charge, which is a lot less damage dealing than the Fists of Fury, whatever that specialization is called. So, like, I think you could probably do it a bit better. If there's any way you can move this Snotter up a little bit, I would think it would just be better to have him fighting here and then hope that the guy comes up here, so then they're both here at the same exact time. But I mean, your way works as well. I just think maybe the first Pete Poundmore is going to be dead before that battle really begins. This whole setup here, I like it, but I think that maybe it's something that you could test at least. That you could have the Scorpio turned just slightly. Move him back. You don't even have to move him back, really. But if you have him turned a little bit, you noticed as I ran in here, I aggroed the group, and then the Scorpio fired, and I was still kind of moving towards the first unit that I aggroed. So you kind of want to wait until the hero stops, and then you fire the hook, which is if it's turned towards the wall, there's a small delay on it. So maybe the hero's going to be stopped, and there might be a better hook chance. But that's kind of more something that you'll have to test on your own and have a lot of replays over and over and over to see which works better. Which is actually going to get you pulled onto this spike trap. But the room idea is good. Okay, so I'm sure this is a pull from down here. I almost aggroed the second guy. I forget exactly what castle level you are. I think it's 15. So I'm thinking that probably the Doctor skill is starting to lose a little bit of effectiveness for you. That being said, I mean, it's okay, but I think this group is going to be a lot easier to deal with for archers. They'll just volley at this point and everything will die. For knights, they can kind of just single out the Doctor Skull, DPS him down, and then use whatever AoE ability they have to kill the rest. And I don't think it's going to be a huge time sink, and it's probably never going to kill anybody. Like, this one's a better time sink than the previous room, because you have the Puppeteer who's healing the Cyclopses, and the Cyclopses are constantly pushing you away from the Puppeteer. So you kind of have, like, the Puppeteer being shielded by them in a way. Which is pretty good. Alright, so you kind of have the hook that's trying to make me get pulled into other creature groups, which is good. All in all, this is kind of more of a time sink rather than a kill you type of creature group. So, I mean, you do have the Zeke that's going to follow up if you do get pulled through, so I guess I like that quite a bit. You kind of have the tank for the Zeke sort of thing. And all the while you have this healer. The healer in itself with this group specifically, I think is kind of bad. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure this Bone Puppeteer was with the Zeke. And if that's the case, I think you could maybe make it better by adding in... You kind of want the Zeke to be protected, I think, because he dies really quickly. I prefer to have Zeke defended by a Defendatron. I think he dies too quickly otherwise. Alright, I just wasted a couple attacks, but this is a good time waster. It's pretty standard for time wasting. It's going to take a couple seconds for people to get through that. You know, longer than I did because I'm a couple levels over you. And then you have my old boss room, which is fine. It worked quite well for me for a while, but I had to switch it out so now I can say that it's my old boss room and not my current boss room. Actually, you have this guy on Enrage, and I'm not sure that that's what you were intending, but when I was doing this, I had the Dr. Skull on the medic ability, because it was really good combined with the two tanky Defendatrons and then the Pete Poundmore as well. So, it's not bad that you have it on Enrage, but Enrage works worse on this specific Pete Poundmore than the one that does the 3-fist combo or the over-the-head slam. The charge is not really anything special, and his DPS is quite a bit lower when it's on that specialization as well. But yeah, it wasn't too bad. So we'll jump into number 3 in just a second. Alright, and lastly we have Ian JH06, castle level 18, so I'll go into it on my knight. My knight's only 1 level higher, so it might be a little bit difficult. We'll see. Alright, so we kind of have this Stairmaster thing, which is on... personally, I never use this specialization, but I don't know. It doesn't seem very good to me. The lasers are pretty easy to dodge, and... I mean, yes, it wastes a little bit of time, but I think there's better time wasters available. Also, I like using the Stairmasters on their other specialization, the eyeball one. Alright, so you have this bad dog with these 4 smelly warriors. I'm not sure exactly how this will work out. I mean, they do about 100 damage a hit, which isn't all that much, especially with potions as they are. Maybe it would be better after potions get nerfed or something like that, but... Around your level, I really like archers, to be honest, for their DPS. Because, I mean, you have the double headshot, I believe, level 4 archers. I think they're just better. This I like a little bit more because it's kind of more of a time sink, and it also does like a moderate amount of damage. Like, I feel like this is almost a better time sink than your Stairmaster one up there. I guess they're about equal. I don't know. Alright, so now you have a Jimbo, although he's on his... You see, he's on his defense specialization as well, and you have him defended on top of the defense specialization, which is kind of weird. Like, you'll notice Jimbo doesn't do hardly any damage to me, and I can just stand here. And when he does his over-the-head swing, yeah, it's kind of easy to dodge out of the way of, but it's a lot more scary, right? I can't just stand here and DPS that guy down. I have to dodge backwards every time he goes to take his swing, or else I'm going to take, 600 or so damage. Probably for yours, maybe 400. I guess it's just my opinion, but I think Jimbo's kind of useless other than that specific scenario. And then there's certain walls that this jelly wall doesn't really stick to. You notice I don't get slowed if I walk through here. Sometimes if you rotate it all the way around, it fixes it. Sometimes it just doesn't stick. Alright, so we have these things again. Those are pretty easy to take care of. Alright, I'm done. See, I would love this a lot better if you had archers from down the hallway. I almost expected it, right? I got stunned by that Cyclops as soon as I was coming out of this jelly wall, and I like got stunned and I was like, oh, here come the archer shots, and then they never came. I expected some headshotting archers to come down here. How you have it set up now, this Dr. Skull is 10 points and you have him on Enrage, right? So you have 2 units that are doing damage, and the Cyclops isn't really going to do all that much on that specific specialization. So really you have 1 archer that's doing damage for you, and you're enraging him. If you got rid of the Dr. Skull, you could add 2 more archers. So I feel like 2 more archers would be a lot higher damage output than 1 enraged archer. So if I was you, I would have your archers kind of back here, and then you have your stun coming in, and then all the archers get their shots off, and that would be a high amount of DPS for sure. I would say if you're using this kind of as a time waster as well, for this room specifically, if you can set up your derp, you know, kind of spotting here, and set up your smelly warriors to flank around, that way you have to wait for them to catch up or push forward and, you know, risk fighting 2 groups at once. I think it's just a better time waster overall. Alright, so I kind of expect a pull, but it looks like maybe I'm not going to see that. Alright, so here is kind of what I had in mind before, except this guy would be a Cyclops. And you'd have him so you kind of pound him up into this jelly wall or something, and then the archers take their shots. How it is set up here, if I just kind of go next to it... Oh, those are bear traps, alright. Well, I was talking about with a headshot specialization. You can use bear traps, they're pretty good. Quite a bit more annoying for knights to deal with than archers, but I don't think this is bad. Alright, and then we have the boss room. Which has a Zeke, a defended. So I like this one quite a bit as well. You kind of have this Cyclops, which is going to stun you, and then the Zeke, which is protected, which I like, DPSing you down. The only thing that I don't think really meshes well with this is the bear traps on the archers. Personally, I would prefer headshot in this situation because you have him, you know, stunning you, so you want damage coming down from afar instead of, you know, you pulling them into bear traps or something like that. But I do like this boss room quite a bit. It's got a good amount of DPS. It's got crowd control. I like it. Alright, so that's number 3, so we're going to end the video here. As always, if you guys enjoy what I do, please subscribe and leave a like. If you want to be a part of Viewer Castles, you can email me at frenzycastleruns@hotmail.com. You can comment in one of the videos, or you can comment on my castle. Give me your in-game name, summoner level, castle level, stuff like that. So, I'm going to end the video here. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.